Hey everybody, Randy Patterson here with Boomerocity. And boy, do I have another fun interview for you guys. It's the great Eric Johnson. Now, this will be the third time I've talked to Eric, but I believe the first time we have him on video for Boomerocity. So this is a special treat for me. A lot of fun to talk with him. Full disclosure, we had both of us at both ends of this conversation. We conducted by Zoom, which that may change. But he was having technical issues on his end due to an upgrade, and I was having technical issues on my end, but we finally got it together. So we had a great chat about two tours he's doing this year. One is his solo tour, which you can see there in the blue poster behind me. And then he's again playing guitar in the Experience Hendrix tour, which I haven't seen that show yet, but from everything I've heard, it is 3 hours of phenomenal Hendrix music, and Eric is a big part of that. So we talk about his last album, as well as an album he's working on now, as well as a third album coming out with the super group he was in called G3, and it's a live album of their work that, of course, where he's playing with Joe Satriani and Steve Vai. Now, we've talked to Eric and we've talked to Steve. Now I need to chase down Joe and see if we can get him on board, and we'll have G3 covered. So this is a lot of fun. You're going to enjoy this nice little conversation. And if you don't mind, would you please tell your friends about this? Ask them to subscribe and like the interview and any other interviews they see that they might like. And if you haven't done so already, would you please hit like and subscribe? Helps us out a lot, and it doesn't cost you a dime. So until next time, this is Randy Patterson with Boomerocity. Take care. Well, man, thanks for joining me, and I want to thank you again for all the years of great music. And I've seen you in concert a time or two, met you backstage in Chattanooga before the great pandemic hit, and
Oh my God.
always enjoy your work. So but it's been, gosh, 6 years since we last spoke or did an interview, and I was just wondering how things have been between then and now. Of course, with the pandemic right in the middle of it all, but
Yeah, that was a crazy time in a lot of different ways, but I just ended up going to the studio and making a record and put that out. And then since then just been touring and writing and stuff.
have you found a change in the audiences post-pandemic, or have people gotten back into the old normal, or is it?
No, I think people are. It's pretty much. I think everybody's just a little more careful these days, but I think things have returned to pretty much normal, or as much normal as we'll probably have for the new era.
Yeah, until another one decides to come along. So,
Yeah, right.
but you came out with that great album, The Book of Making, and Yesterday Meets Today, man. I love that album. I especially loved Love Will Never Say Goodbye. It's
Thank you.
my favorite cut off of that album, and
Thank you.
really enjoy it. How's that album done for you?
It did pretty well, considering how albums do these days, which
Yeah.
is a whole different deal. But no, it seemed like it was met with pretty good approval and stuff. And so yeah, that was cool.
What's been the feedback from are fans saying a particular song is a fan favorite now, or?
Different people like different songs. It was kind of a mixed record as far as styles and stuff. But
Yeah.
I think I got feedback from different people on what they particularly liked and stuff.
You kind of hit them all, huh?
Yeah.
Now, is this your personal studio you're at?
Yeah, it sure is.
Wow, nice looking, man. How long have you had that?
I started building this place 20 years ago, and I
Wow.
just built it a little bit at a time. I started off with the big room to rehearse in, and then we built a makeshift control room. And then about 10 or 12 years ago, I built a real good control room.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, just I've been piecing it together and finished it up about, it's been 7 or 8 years it's been all finished.
Oh, wow, very nice. Is it the doghouse where your wife sends you if you get in trouble?
Oh, yeah, really. Really, it is. Totally. Yeah.
So you have a couple of tours going on this year, man. Tell me about them.
We do. I'm going to be going out on a 2-week tour with Tom Breckline and Roscoe Beck. we're doing. I have some new music I'm working on, and I just wanted to get out and kind of play it for some people and see what works and what doesn't. And so it's just kind of an experimentation thing. I'm gonna do a bunch of new stuff,
Mhm.
and then I guess do the Hendrix tour in later September and October.
Yeah, yeah. I, uh, I had interviewed Janie Hendrix a year or 2 ago, I guess it's been. I've interviewed her 2 or 3 times, and I believe it was off the record, she spoke very, very highly of you and was very pleased with
Uh,
how you handle her brother's, or stepbrother's stuff, and, how do you feel about playing in that tour and playing his music? What does that all mean to you? How does it feel?
well, I've always loved playing Jimmy's music, and I always have since I was a kid. Just tried to play it. So it's kind of like it's nothing different for me to go play his music. I just always, and every time I do, I learn something. Something about his approach or what he did, and so it's always an honor and a privilege for me to do that.
What's been the biggest surprise about playing this stuff for you? I mean, as a musician, I mean, I play air guitar and that's it.
Hmm.
But as a musician, what's been the biggest surprises or revelations to you in playing his music, learning his music?
Well, it's unique, and it's not only great lead playing, but some of the tones and it's the rhythm guitar playing. I mean, he was a great rhythm guitarist, and that was important to him. The the main nucleus body of the song, being the rhythm and how he approached that and orchestrated the songs. You could tell that was it was a integral part of what he did, and he didn't just shred on guitar. He had this
Right.
whole orchestrative thing going on. So it's a really a good moment to you can really look at how he approached it as music, and it just happened to be on guitar. But I think the bigger picture was he was a music writer, and
Yeah.
he used the guitar for his medium.
From your perspective, do you feel like he used a unique tuning, or did he just go with straight basic tuning? And I mean,
Pretty
either way,
much.
it'd be hard to play, I would imagine. But what's been your discovery on that?
Well, it's just a regular standard guitar tuning. Although he tuned to E flat instead of E a lot of times,
Hmm.
but it was just regular tuning. Yeah.
I've always wondered why you guitar players go into these different kinds of tunings because I'm thinking, crap, man, I can't even play with a straight tuning on here. I'm trying to, and don't confuse me with any of this other stuff until
And
I
it can
master.
be it can be confusing when you do open tuning stuff because if you learn okay, I know where all the notes are on the fret, and then that becomes like breathing to you, and then you're in an open tuning, and you look at that fret, and it's a different note. That can
Yeah.
be confusing.
Well,
Yeah.
you have somebody like Keith Richards, and he plays with 5 strings.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, you're right.
what's your favorite Hendrix song to play?
Wow, I love them all. Axis Boys Love's great. May This Be Love is a great one. It's so beautiful. Uh, Spanish Castle Magic's fun. That's a
Mhm.
fun one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Somebody was telling me that the show is this was 4 or 5 years ago. I heard this. That's like a 3 hour show. Is it that long?
It's pretty long. There's a lot of artists.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So,
Yeah.
do you lose people through that long of a show, or does people hang?
It doesn't seem so. I don't think so, but not sure.
What can fans expect from your solo tour apart from the Hendrix tour? What are they going to hear
Well,
from?
that's when the audience will be empty. But
Oh, listen to you. Come on, man. I
they'll
know
they'll
better. I caught you in
they'll
Chattanooga.
clear up. That's the intermission time. I play the
You're
I'm
right.
out there next to the soda fountain, just but, I'm gonna do a couple of different things this time, but I have a kind of a standard repertoire of ones I like to do, but I'll try to do a couple of new things this time.
Is it gonna be all electric? Or are you gonna do acoustic too, or is it just?
Yeah, I think it'll be electric.
I see.
Yeah.
So, how many you said that's gonna be a 2-week tour, or is it gonna be longer than that?
No, it's gonna be a 1 month.
1 month. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now I know you're coming here to Knoxville, and I want to be sure and catch you when you
Yeah,
come through.
that'd be
But
great.
yeah. So you said you're writing some new music. I want to interview you when that album comes out, but maybe give the fans a little bit of a teaser about what you're working on that and what can we expect from that.
Well, I'm working on several different projects at once, but the main one I want to put out next is kind of a blues flavored record.
Mhm.
It's how I learned to play guitar initially when I was a kid, studying all the blues greats. And so a lot of that technique is, even though I went on to play a different style of music, it's the kind of the nuts and bolts and ABCs of how I learned to play electric guitar. And so I want to kind of return to that and try to give a little bit of credence to that. So I'm writing songs that kind of are in that vein.
Wow.
Also, a little bit more straight ahead in so much as not tons of pedals and gimmicks and stuff, just like, straight into the amps with, you know, a guitar and an amp and just keeping it raw and straight ahead. Um, because I don't know, I'm gravitated towards the the prospect of doing that now, because I mean everything's just gotten so, there's so much option anxiety, as far as gear and then the just the whole digital technology and everything has just gotten so crazy. I thought, well, we need just to return to just the raw basics of just playing straight up into the amp.
Yeah.
So I'll be doing some other stuff like old songs where I do my regular thing, but a lot of this 2-week tour will be to kind of experiment with that.
On the album you're working on, are you going to have any guests on there that you can talk about? Or
Well, not yet. Yeah, I would definitely like to have some guests. Yeah, yeah.
I can only imagine who they might be. So
Uh,
this G3 album that Carla and Saul was just telling me about via email, can you talk about that any?
yeah. Well, we did a reunion, Joe, Steve, and I, and we did a 3-week reunion tour on the West Coast, and they recorded it, and yeah, there's a record coming out of all three of us doing our individual sets, and then the part of the record will be the jam where we all play together. Should
So
be out, I think, at the end of the year, I think.
oh, really? Cool. Now, for those that aren't really sure what G3 is, that's going to be yourself. That's Joe Satriani, right? And Steve Vai, correct?
Correct.
All right. So I've talked to you and I've talked to Steve a couple of times. I need to get hold of Joe. So it's
Yeah.
he needs to quit hiding from me. I got to chase him down.
Yeah, there you go.
So
Yeah.
where was that album recorded?
It was recorded in LA.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where at?
Was it the Orpheum Theater, I think?
Oh, nice. Very cool.
But
That'd
yeah.
be kind of like where you're going to be playing here in or in Knoxville. I think you're hitting the Bijou this time.
Okay.
Orpheum's a little bit bigger than I think it's more like the Tennessee Theater up the street.
Yeah, yeah,
But,
okay.
but
Yeah, yeah.
it's when was the last time you played Knoxville? It's been a couple years, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been a few years, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It wasn't. You played since the pandemic, though, hadn't you?
I don't know if I have, Randy. I'm not
Because I
sure.
know you played Chattanooga and Knoxville before the pandemic. They were like two dates, kind of couple weeks apart, I think, or maybe a night
Wow.
apart. I can't remember, but you had a
Well, we
good
did
turn.
I did do a private show at the Bluebird Song Museum in Chattanooga.
Chattanooga, yeah.
That was about a year and a half ago, but
Oh, okay, cool.
but I don't think I've done anything in Knoxville since a few years ago.
Yeah, well, it's going to be good to have you back. The Songbird, I understand, has changed a bit. They got rid of a lot of the museum pieces there, so to speak.
Yeah, yeah, they did. It's kinda turned more, I think, a nonprofit helping kids, with music and stuff.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
There's a great documentary on it. I don't know if you saw it or not.
Yeah, I did see
Great one
some
on
of
there.
that. Yeah.
But, well, Matt, this is a lot of fun. I'm glad you took the time to meet with me and had the
Mm.
patience to get through these
I'm sorry about
technical issues.
that. Yeah.
Well, hey, it was on my end too. So, but we worked through it, being the geniuses that we are.
Well, maybe between you and me, we might know somebody at NASA that will get us a gig up there,
Hey,
right?
hey, man, it beats hitting the road all the time, right? So,
Well, I tell you what, that those astronauts be stressed out if I was at the helm down in Houston.
yeah,
They'd
they
be
they
like,
they would be singing Space Oddity if I was at the helm of it, man. Like, be
man,
bad news. But man, I'll
yeah.
try to catch your gig in
Okay,
Knoxville.
man.
My door's always open to you, Eric. You're
Thank
always
you.
fun to talk to, and I
Well,
love
thank
your work, and I look forward
thank
to a
you.
lot more from you in the years to come.
Well, thanks for doing this. I appreciate it.
All right, my friend, take
All
care
right.
and
Okay.
be safe.
See. Okay. Bye.
Bye bye.